Akira Toriyama was known for his excellent designs when it came to characters, and this of course extended to his video game expenditures in Dragon Quest. Now, despite all these monsters being incredibly popular, there are some monsters that just aren't known, partly because their designs are weird and partly because they belong to the spin-off series which I like to cover, Dragon Quest Monsters. Welcome everybody, this is Defeater of Souls, and today we are going to be looking at some of the few unique enemies in Dragon Quest Monsters games. Now the ones I'll be looking at are from the original Dragon Quest Monsters game, Dragon Quest Monsters 2, Kobe and Tara's Adventure, and Dragon Quest Monsters Caravan Heart. Now of course, the Joker games and onward also have unique enemies, but I feel like these first three have a perfect balance of recognizable monsters and wacky monsters that never made it out of these games. So let's take a look. We'll start with the slimes from Dragon Quest Monsters and Dragon Quest Monsters 2. Now, there's 13 of these slimes that I noticed were unique, that being they never appeared in any mainline Dragon Quest game before the Dragon Quest Monsters series, and as of this video, they've never made it in any Dragon Quest game mainline after the Dragon Quest Monsters series. The main exception will be Dark Prince, which is one of the few times that some of these weirdos had a 3D model. Now, of course, there's also going to be all of the remakes for these games that were Japan exclusive, so this will be one of the few times us Americans and any other non-Japanese speaker has been able to enjoy these guys in 3D models. And not even all of these, just some of these. So the first three we're going to look at is the Wing Slime, the Tree Slime, and the Box Slime. All three of these guys are interesting because they were designed with one simple purpose in mind. They were supposed to be a simple product for if you fused any generic slime with any generic member of a different family. If you didn't know, the fusion system works where if you mix two members of a family, you get another member depending on what your first member was. Or at least that's how it worked in the original games. However, not everything could give you a specific result, otherwise that would require a lot more work than actually went into the game. Not that that's a problem. Instead, if there's no specific result for breeding two monsters, it would give you a generic result. And that's what the Wing Slime, the Tree Slime, and the Box Slime all were. Generic results for when you breeded a slime with a bird, a plant, or a material family monster. Now remember, the nature family is still split up at this point, which is why Wing Slime and Tree Slime are both different fusions, rather than it just being a Tree Slime or other natural slime. In Dragon Quest Monsters 2, with the introduction of the Water family, which would later be joined in with the rest of those in the Nature family, you also have the introduction of the Scallop Slime, which is a slime, of course, in a clamshell, as you can see on the screen right now. This also had the same purpose for when you bred a slime with a generic member of the Water family, and it didn't give you a specific result. Now, there are multiple slimes that were not simply breeding two things generic. Some of those include the likes of the Wild Slime and the Rock Slime and the Slimeborg. All three of these monsters are slimes with some modifications made to them that make them recognizable, while also still having them be changed. These do require specific fusions, although they still require certain members of a family. For example, creating a Slimeborg requires a specific machine monster in the material family. The Rock Slime requires a specific monster in the material family that's made of rocks, but they still both use the rock monsters, the material monsters, in order to get them. The Wild Slime's actually a boss in the original Dragon Quest Monsters, and was a good way to display that they were having fun when they were creating the designs of some of these monsters. Besides that, none of these guys are too notable except for the fact that the majority of these have reappeared in Dark Prince. I'm pretty sure the Slimeborg, though, didn't make the cut. A few other interesting ones we're just gonna look at real quick are the Slabbit, the Spot King, and the Tropic Gel. All three of these guys are incredibly unique because they're just weird. The Slabbit is a slime with rabbit legs, and I don't know why in the world this exists, but it's funny to look at it and say, hey look, it's a slime with rabbit legs. The Spot King is what happens when you take the Spot Slime from Dragon Quest VI and say, hey, this should have a king version too. And so they do, it's just a king slime with dog ears and spots. Finally, the Tropic Gel is just kind of even weirder than the previous few. His deal is he looks like the icon of a medicinal herb, which is an essential item in early game Dragon Quests. In Dragon Quest 1, 2, and so on, they've all had medical herbs which recover around 30 HP. This slime mimics that appearance by having the iconic slime face while having the body the shape of a medicinal herb. 3 more ones here from the original Dragon Quest monsters and Monsters 2 games are the Mime Slime, the Angel Slime, and the Grand Slime. The Mime Slime's just kind of another slime imitating another enemy. This time they're imitating the Jinkster, Blinkster line of families. Another guy here, the Angel Slime, is a really good design for a slime, and has appeared in other Dragon Quest Monsters games, like Dragon Quest Monsters Joker. And finally, the Grand Slime is designed to look a little bit like Boria from Dragon Quest IV. He has the same magical might and prowess as the old wizened wizard from that game, but he comes with the extra caveat of high defense and being a pain to fuse. If we look at Dragon Quest Monsters Caravan Heart, we'll notice that they had plenty of unique creatures too. Now, of course, this game is Japan exclusive, which means unless you get yourself a translated patch and emulate it or buy a copy online, you're probably not going to be understanding most of their names too well. However, let's take a look at all the monsters they do have and just kind of see what they were doing here. The first one we'll look at is the Aqua Slime. The Aqua Slime's kind of interesting. It's the mix of a water and monster and a slime, and it just kind of seems alright. The King Bubble Slime is a similar deal to the King Spot Slime, also known as the King Model Slime, where they said, we have multiple slime variants, let's make another one a ruler. And I honestly have no problem with this whatsoever. Now, the King Bubble Slime actually has a recolor in this game known as the Slick King, which is an oily version of it. It's just kind of the same deal. It's nothing special. The Crystal Slime's also a unique one. The Crystal Slime, of course, has a slime looking like a crystal. This is memorable, but hardly anything too impressive. What is impressive is the Mage Slime, where they decided to give these slimes pointy hats that are often connected to mages when it comes to appearance. However, they put it underneath the gel membrane, which means that you have a rather weird looking slime and is kinda reminiscent of the good old days with the Wing Slime. A few other ones are the Magma Slime and the Master Slime. The Master Slime just kinda has a point for no reason, but hey, he says it looks cool, and I gotta agree with his point there. The Magma Slime is of course a fiery slime, and that's really all there is to say about that. It kinda talks for itself. The Spiny Slime is also interesting because of its ability to spin around like a top. It did appear in Dragon Quest Dark Prince if you don't know, and he's a rather interesting guy there. But hey, at least he made it. Who else made it? Well, Snome. Now, Snome's an interesting pick because technically, Snome doesn't look like the rest of the slimes. If you compare him to any other slime, he's gonna stand out because he doesn't have that iconic slime facial expression. He is quite literally just a sentient snowman. But if you think about it, what would be the best place to put a guy like Snome? Would it be better in the material family since he is made out of material ice, but snow and, is a snowman? Or would it be better if he was a member of the nature family? The slime family might be a good fit, because if you think about it, he's constantly melting, which means that rather than being snow, he's kinda just a snowman full of slush. And slush is accurately close enough to slime for most people to say it's good enough. Or at least that's what I'm gonna do. The Dark Slime is an evil slime, which means, of course, they gotta make a King Dark Slime. What? Oh, you're saying that doesn't come until later? Oh, that's right. Caravan Heart doesn't have a King Dark Slime, it just has a Dark Slime Knight. This one also appears later in the franchise. And that is about it! Now, we don't really have slime for too many more of these monsters, so we will be calling it done for the day. However, these games have so many unique monsters. Outside of just the slime family, some of these guys are boggling in their design, and some of them never even made it out of the original game, even when those games were remade. And of course, some of these look freaking awesome. Now, those guys are still going to be a ways away, So right now, we're just gonna sign off. This has been Defeater of Souls. If you want more videos like this or other Dragon Quest Monsters related content, feel free to like this video if you liked it and subscribe to my channel. I'll be releasing videos on a weekly basis like I do. And that is all that there is to be said, so this has been Defeater of Souls.